sweetest. WrestleMania has come and gone once again. And ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into the fourth season. This is the third season. So
we all know
we are heading into the third season with you beautiful people and these beautiful chatterheads. So I want to apologize in advance because this is going to be the worst 5 minutes of this podcast ever because Chuckles wants to speak. And out of respect for the most terribly horrific POS champion who lost the belt, I will give him 5 minutes. I said I was going to be nice. So fuckface, have at it.
Wow, that was actually nice. You know what the thing is that I clean swept WrestleMania night 1. And you all might look at me as your piece of shit champion, but the thing is I am the actual champion. I have won. I have proven myself. The Pony Boy can post anything he wants, but at the end of the day, I want to say something serious, actually. I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be on this podcast without you guys. Without my friends that I have here, without the audience we have out there. You know, sometimes I gloat and I act like an asshole, and I totally get it. And I like to have fun, and I do feel like a cocky son of a bitch with this champion. I'm not going to lie. And you can call me a piece of shit and all and everything you want, but at the end of the day, I thank you guys. I thank you guys for being on the podcast. And you know what? It's a new year. And if I lose, you know what? I'll gloat again. If I lose, I will still be the longest reigning one. But I will eat humble pie when it comes down to it. But what this speech is literally about is thanking you guys. Thank you for the podcast. Thank you for listening. You know, you could still call me your piece of shit champion at the end of the day, but I have proven myself. And Pony Boy can throw a fit, but here I am thanking him and praising him. And, you know, I just want to say thank you, everybody. Let's start out the new season right. We're all at 0 points. We're all going to have fun. Maybe Pony Boy could actually win this season. We'll see. It's exciting. Thank you for tuning into season 3. I'm your piece of shit champion, and you can unmute Pony Boy.
So, just to touch base on that really quick. We are not all at 0 points because we carried over the WrestleMania 25 points.
I thought we were starting over again. My bad.
No. We started over the overall over.
Okay.
The overall is from 2020, from WrestleMania 40 to 41. Those points are gone, but the WrestleMania 41 points are still.
Oh, okay. That's the start point. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Sorry, audience.
All right. Anyway,
I'm not going to gloat anymore from this point forward. Just real quick thing. Let's just get into the wrestling.
As Pony Boy said, as Tommy Gunn said, ladies and gentlemen of Chatterhead Nation, we are in season 3. Surprisingly, they renewed us, and by they, I mean somehow we decided we're going to keep doing this, and we have not gotten canceled. We haven't gotten canceled yet. Pony Boy, you have not gotten us canceled yet.
Yeet.
Also, I've got orange chicken and chow mein right now, and it is phenomenal.
I got pre-workout.
Listen, ladies. Ladies, just fucking listen.
That pre-workout, Tommy. That's
Shut up, Linda.
It's not lit. It's bulk. Look up bulk. It's good.
But the coloration of it kind of scares me.
Listen,
they got beef tallow in it.
If I wanted to get us canceled, I definitely would. Don't let the golden yeets distract you.
Yeet.
eat. Cowboy Jake, it is never going to happen. You cannot, in the words of Paul Heyman, you cannot cancel yourself, and you cannot let them cancel you. Something along those lines. Anyways, holy fucking shit! Without that speech would never end.
It was even 5 minutes, and I thanked you.
Yeah,
you could
Pony Boy. His speech was very well written. It was under
humble.
5 minutes. It was humble,
No.
and you know what? I seriously hope you win.
I don't.
You know why?
I don't.
Your public speaking skills are trash.
Oh my god!
I can't
Oh,
wait
man.
for you to be on the mic.
Listen.
Listening.
Listen. I have wonderful speaking skills. I am very liberally gifted.
So what you're saying is you're camera shy and can't perform under pressure.
Well, doesn't everybody who has a candy dick?
You know,
I figured it would be too sweet to deny.
You know what creative writing? You know how creative writing is? That's how Ponyboy speaks.
Okay, listen here. Listen. I don't want to win. Because
Ponyboy.
Because when I
Ponyboy,
do win,
I think who here on TLC thinks Ponyboy should go join an impromptu group? Yes, and delivery impromptu group. I think it'd be great.
No, because then I'll definitely get canceled.
Why do we got 1 like and 4 watchers? Give us some likes.
Because your speech was too sappy, it dragged ass, and you basically thanked me for this bastard child of an idea I had 5 years ago.
2 out of 3 of us liked it. You're just mad because you don't have it as much as you don't want to win. At least
I wouldn't have lost it.
Going to be.
I've never held it.
Should I tell that story? This is like my Chris Jericho.
By the way, actually, yeah, Tommy, you can go ahead. For those that were not around us during WrestleMania weekend, Tommy lost the title. He pulled a Chris Jericho.
I literally pulled a Chris Jericho. The first night we showed up at WrestleMania, I couldn't find the title, but we thought it was on Ponyboy's couch, and I was like, yeah, so whatever. I got drunk, and then I woke up on a bathroom floor, and
the sad part is, for 48 hours, you claimed it was on his couch.
Mm-hmm. Who was right?
Okay, so anyways,
this just goes to show that
the second night I was hungover and damn near throwing up in my seat, and we still couldn't find the title.
We do have pictures, ladies and gentlemen.
Lots of them. But finally, on the third day, Christ risen, and we found it in the back of
Whoa.
truck.
Pump the brakes, Chico. Who found it?
You did. I just said that.
No. You said we. You did nothing. You drunk geriatric of a champion.
It was literally in the back of your truck with T-shirts we were supposed to wear. My sales and record,
just like everything else.
Supposed to bring those in.
Ladies and gentlemen of Tables, Ladders, and Chair podcast, guess what? We're only 8 minutes and 30 seconds into this of season 3, episode 1, and Ponyboy's in timeout.
I mean, I've proven I'm a piece of shit champion by losing the title. I mean, it was literally a Chris Jericho situation, but it was entertaining. It was fun. You know, like... No, it was 3 times. I wrote Eddie that morning. We were searching. All
right. Jake was more so saying the fact that you looked for it twice in Cody's truck.
Let me just be honest with you.
Fair.
I'm gonna tell the true story. True story. Hand to Jibus.
Kanye.
He claimed to have left it on my couch. It was not on my couch. And
your couch?
My couch. Anyways, this dummy put it in a box. And no, I was not supposed to bring that box in because it had your sales album in it. So just because
by the way, did you mail that out yet?
I am off Saturday. I will do it Saturday.
Fucking called it. I called it.
Yep.
I've been working.
I'm gonna end up
I
having to
couldn't bring it on the train because it was too fragile.
I'm still speaking. I'm still speaking. So when you say we found it, you mean me. because after you looked in my Tahoe 3 times, I went out there the 4th time and fix what you fucked up. You put it in the box. You forgot it in the box, and you're a sucky champion.
Pony Boy,
and you're trying to steal my wise
Pony
man.
Pony Boy.
No.
So you went out and found it. You went out and found it on Sunday. All right.
Yes.
You even looked in your Tahoe on Saturday for it.
You did.
No, I went out for my Tahoe to get Tommy's other jacket because the dumbass left it on the chair outside.
Anyway, so we have a question, all right, from Jamie. All right, let's get into it. Let's actually get into the podcast. What is the storyline that you guys actually like right now in WWE?
Okay, we're gonna not all agree on the Cena Orton one because we all love that. That's too easy of an answer.
Yeah,
I like the Gunther and Pat McAfee storyline.
Yeah, I feel like that's good. I feel like, do you think Pat's going to be off TV till Backlash, or do you think they're actually going to have a little hype to it?
Nope. They're going to have hype to it because this is how you bring Goldberg in to wrestle Gunther.
Well, the thing about that too, Tommy, you got to remember, Backlash is May 10th. It's only a week and a half away. Yeah. So what, you're not having McAfee on the Raw beforehand, which would be next Monday, would be kind of pointless.
Here's the thing. And how can you...
They've done
and
it.
How can you have somebody who's in the storyline not on TV?
Gunther's not going to be on TV till Backlash.
Gunther doesn't have to be on TV. Gunther just lost the title.
And that's the thing about it too, is that McAfee has to be there because he's a fixture there every Monday Night Raw. Gunther, as Nick Aldis said, he was not removing the suspension. So there is a strong chance as well that after this match at Backlash, Gunther may still be suspended.
Did my screen just
Kyle Rawhut, I absolutely agree with you that we don't want Goldberg, but we're gonna get him because as Pat. A side note, Pat McAfee had his American Dream Dusty Rhodes moment this past Monday with that speech. Can we all agree on that? That was his hard time speech. Okay, but when he wants to keep saying my dogs, my dogs, my dogs. That's how you're going to get Goldberg because Goldberg was a Georgia Bulldog. We don't want it. We're going to get it because you had that. That was a solid promo buildup when Gunther was calling out Goldberg. It's a solid promo. You're going to get it at SummerSlam, and then you're done. And by the way, they want $40,000 for fucking ringside?
All right, time out.
SummerSlam?
Well, hold on. I'll get into that. I will get into that later because I did look into it. And I'm still going to tell you what all is included in that.
Oh, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It is. But I do not believe it's worth it. And
like,
we can talk about that.
Okay.
We can talk about that later because that goes into another thing that, it's a whole different conversation on its own. My thing about the Gunther Goldberg thing, all right? Do you think this is ultimately coming because Goldberg bitched over the last however many years about not having a retirement match?
You want to know what? I
like before you say your piece about it, because you explained the whole Goldberg coming in and McAfee and why it makes sense. Tommy, I want your thoughts on that one. Like, do you feel this is just WWE trying to shut Goldberg up?
No, because he's an attraction, but in a way, I feel like it's a way to shut him up, if that makes sense. It's kind of both swords on that. Like, they got to give Goldberg a retirement match. Like, because it's a big
they don't.
Deal.
See, I thought
to never have a retirement match. I mean, fucking Sting had a retirement match.
But Sting never almost killed Bret Hart.
That doesn't play into him having a retirement match. It just shows he's a shit wrestler.
Hold on. What Goldberg's last match, if I recall, wasn't it Goldberg against Undertaker at fucking Saudi Arabia or whatever?
Terrible.
I thought it was with Lesnar.
No, I think it was the Saudi Arabia one. Well, let's look.
Well, here's the thing about Undertaker has even said he knew that match was going to be trash. I'm sorry. You wrestled The Undertaker as a main attraction in Saudi Arabia at the height of this whole building the company over there. I would have used that as your retirement match because you got buried, literally.
You can't. Okay.
Oh, he fought Roman Reigns for the the Universal Championship in February.
I don't think you can actually have a retirement match in another country.
That was his last match, the Reigns match?
Yep.
Ooh.
He lost by a technical submission. I don't remember that.
Well, because it was Goldberg match. Nobody really cares. But you can't have somebody.
A lot of people care.
I didn't realize that was his last match.
Right? It shows how memorable it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I get why they're doing it. You got to figure out a way to start bringing Gunther back up.
That would be my next question. Is that what this essentially is?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was saying. You got to bring him up.
Somebody did mention the Seth Rollins Breaker Heyman thing. I really like it, but I want to add one thing to it. And all of these, shut up. Drink your drink. I think to make that storyline something better and different with that faction, because everybody's comparing it to Evolution, to the Four Horsemen, because you always got like a manager, the whatever.
Well, the thing about it, and what you just mentioned about like saying comparing it to Evolution, I'm sorry, but I didn't watch all of Raw. I was watching it before this. I got to before I launched the room and everything, the McAfee promo that's set up for him and Gunther at Backlash. But seeing the way Seth was talking to Sammy at the beginning of Raw, all right?
Yep.
Him saying that this is the future. Either you're with us or against us, blah, blah, blah. It's legit Evolution.
What do I think they should do? What do I think they should add? Becky.
Oh, we're not even into
you guys, you're doing something wrong that we should never do with wrestling. You're doing it wrong. It's too early to judge them by another faction. This is only their first week. Maybe they could be something else. You know?
I'm not here. I'm going to argue. I'm going to argue.
I get shush now.
I'm going to argue this.
I got to finish.
Hold on. Let him finish. Because you know what? He does kind of have a point because, and I'll give him this one, because you know what? In all retrospect, the same thing could have been said about when Edge started Judgment Day.
Well, you said the same thing about Evolution being the Four Horsemen. You know, same kind of thing. It's a shush now, sir.
Let him finish.
I'm not disagreeing with your point right now. I definitely think it's an Evolution-esque thing, but it's too early to tell. It's the first week. See where it goes. It could be like a Messiah following, like
what he's already done,
the Sith Lord kind of thing. You know, but Paul Heyman's the ultimate.
He's already done the Messiah thing with AOP.
You know what? But the thing about that you mentioned, the whole Messiah thing with AOP, I feel when they put him with AOP in that whole Messiah thing, it was a flop. It was a complete flop. It was the man was dressed up like Jesus. It was the wrong group to put him with under that. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't like CM Punk's Straight Edge Society where it worked. The people they had with it worked. Rollins' whole Messiah thing with AOP was just the wrong group to put him with. I feel like that was just a matter of them trying to get AOP to be bigger and explode more than they were, and it failed.
Didn't they really?
And you tried. Then you tried again with
no Messiah, only Zool.
There is no Messiah, only
Zool.
But anyway, you tried again with the whole AOP joining Final Testament. But again, it was good. It worked. But it was just, AOP is just one of those groups that
they have no charisma.
They
don't need charisma. They're big, beefy men.
They need charisma because it just proved that they got released, that they needed charisma to stay.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. Pony Boy, you got to remember something. Just because you are a big, beefy, meaty man, in a sea of other big, meaty men, beefy, meaty men, you got to have something to stand out. Why are the War Raiders so good? Comparing them, right there. Kyle Rawhide said best. AOP was just hit row.
Why is the War Raiders better? Because Ivar does cartwheels.
That's not why. They can at least talk. They can at least talk and cut a promo. It may not be the best promo, but
it's a promo.
But see, you can judge this faction on all aspects because once again, Seth Rollins is going to be the next Triple H, and he is going to be in multiple factions. You can base it off of what he was in the Shield. He was with the Monday Night Messiah. He was with the Authority. It is the same shit. But to make it different, and the only thing that would be different is to put a woman in his faction, which would be Becky Lynch, which would explain her heel turn. Because the man is going to be a Heyman woman. Man.
They could give it to a more deserving woman that isn't a Heyman woman already.
Who would you put? Okay, now I want you to answer this honestly, and I'm gonna word it so even our
I'll give you two.
No. Let me answer the question. I'm going to answer the question so everybody understands this. I'm going to word this question so all of the undereducated wrestling fans will understand this.
Are you saying I'm smart?
No, I'm saying you're an idiot. Wow. What woman would you put in there that would make sense? Not because you want them in there, that would make sense for the story.
2.
Nope, you get 1.
No, you always get 5. I get 2.
No, you get 1.
Nope.
Actually, Tommy, just go with 1 because I have 1 that I think.
But the other one is so good.
Then pick that one. You get 1 choice. And I'm going to diffuse it after you say it for a while. Get 2 minutes to diffuse it, and then I'm going to diffuse zeros. Tommy, go pick 1.
All right, I'm going to pick Meechin because they try to push her as much as they can, but stop!
Ooh, hold on.
Stop! I need to explain. Why it should be Meechin is because they always put her over all 3 brands. She's always on SmackDown, Raw, and or NXT. She needs that push because they want to give her that push, so teaming up with Paul Heyman would be like a Brock Lesnar-X situation where they would finally get her over that hump. Becky's good on her own. Here's the diffusion.
Hold on. Is that the end of your topic, Tommy? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't even consider Meechin. I didn't.
Okay.
But Meechin, I can buy it.
Will be no, because she's on SmackDown. Yes, you can bring her. The only reason I let you speak. Now you let me speak. The only reason she's on multiple shows is because Meechin does a lot of the dark matches. Meechin is on SmackDown. From what I'm reading, they're going to leave her on SmackDown because Keith Lee is supposed to be coming back. They also want to start pushing her for.
It's the family thing. It's the family thing. Tommy.
They're married, stupid.
Good.
So Meechin, yes, a respectable decision, but does not work because she's on SmackDown and they have other plans for her to be on SmackDown.
Okay.
And for shits and giggles, because I'm feeling so empathetic and so giving to our POS champion. What was the other one?
Yeah, what's your other one?
I would say let's flip the script a little bit and do Alexa Bliss.
Fucking dumbass is going.
No. The Wyatt thing is almost too predictable.
That's where she's going.
She could be the
goddess.
You know what?
She's going there.
Hold on. He does.
With the
goddess have a point
persona that she has. Team with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
They have
I see where he's going with the logic behind it. It is confirmed that she is going to be part of the whole Wyatt 6 thing.
Yeah.
You know. Now,
I got big hands.
who I was going to say, flip the script, everything like that. And it was kind of alluded to and touched on Monday night. All right.
Okay, who is it?
And Tommy saying, like with Michin, get her over that hump. How much of a swerve to the left field if it was Bayley?
Bayley, no, because Bayley is in a little bit of hot water for her comments of basically bitching about, I'm not on the poster, I'm this, I'm that, I should have this. Again, Bayley would be a good choice, but the problem is she doesn't fit the mold.
Isn't she a Paul Heyman guy behind the scenes?
No.
I'm
again,
here's the thing about it, Tommy. You can either be one of two people in this world. You can say, basically, you're one of two people. Either you're a Paul Heyman guy, or you're not a Paul Heyman guy. And for those that say they are not Paul Heyman guys, they're fucking liars.
I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
You want to know what? If it's not Becky, who it should truly be, and it's, I honestly think that it should. Well, no, she's on SmackDown.
Who?
Stop with this.
No.
Book it.
Who?
Yeah, fantasy book it.
Fantasy booking?
Yeah,
it's fantasy booking.
Jordan Grace.
Oh,
that'd be.
I mean, it'd be one Brock Lesnar.
It'd be one hell of a way to start your career on the main thing.
Let me put it to you this way. Let me just break it down for you. You have the male powerhouse.
Okay. Yeah.
You have the female powerhouse.
Yeah.
Then you have Seth Rollins. And that's not to say you can't bring another guy into the fold. But again, the last time a true faction had a relevant and very well-placed woman in the faction was...
Are you talking about Heyman factions?
Just factions in general.
Well, hold on. Are you talking predominantly male factions with one female?
Yes.
Right to censor.
Nope. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie got where I was going with it.
Yeah. Now,
America. What are they called? What's Chad Gable's stable?
Oh, God. American Made.
Yeah.
Someone did comment, and it's actually chaotic. And I could see the gears turning in his head, and it would make sense in a very fucked up way, but you could call it back. All right.
It's not Charlotte.
No,
it's not China. She's dead. Being dead.
Roxanne Perez.
Ooh.
No, because again, Roxanne Perez is good, but she is not at the caliber that faction needs to be at to survive.
Right, but
okay.
Right, but the way Seth is pulling, like the way he is playing this faction is supposed to be the quote unquote future of WWE.
Okay.
Roxanne Perez coming to the main roster, which it's already working and happening. All right.
Yep.
She's getting a phenomenal push right now, and not in the sense of like a title push, but getting her name out there, which is great.
Okay.
All right. Now, hold on. You put her in that faction with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. Okay. Seth Rollins can help develop her, obviously, in ring, everything. All right. And then finally, Roxanne Perez is a CM Punk girl.
Yeah, that's why.
Why not put a CM Punk girl who is already on minor occasions on NXT when he came back had a few choice words for him. Just saying.
Again, because
we're always going to be wrong.
No.
I mean, but it would make sense. And if this was fantasy booking,
absolutely.
fuck it, throw Becky and Roxanne. Because Roxanne
has that chick she came up with. They're gonna tag them together.
If Alexa Bliss doesn't join the Wyatt Six, we should have Undead China join it.
Put him in timeout. Put him in timeout.
Undead China, because being dead is not a gimmick.
Put him in timeout.
And Tommy, you're in timeout for the first time this season.
But again, you have Roxanne Perez come up with the one chick. They're gonna feud with Io and Rhea. Let that simmer. The
biggest question is though, with this faction, okay, with this Seth Rollins faction, all right, how long are they going to take to build it out?
I don't think too long, because you already see them start.
I'm unmuted.
You're unmuted now.
Hey, you want to? Jamie had another good idea, man. Can we give Jamie credit for that idea? That's a good thing. Do it again. Just do it again. That last one.
I like the muted champion.
I think Jamie, you get that one. If I had the button, press the button.
Do you know what the saddest part is, Tommy? And we've told him this.
Do it. The customers are always right.
The saddest part is, and we've told Pony Boy this, how he just said, if I had the button, blah, blah, blah.
And you're going part-time. I'll have the button.
Exactly.
Oh, no. You will not.
I will have.
But again, our customers are always right.
No, they're not, because I'm still a champion.
Hold on.
Tommy
our
time.
customers are always right? We have Jamie Randolph. I like the muted champion. We have Mickey Mead.
Mickey Mead!
Free Tommy!
Yes, I have a fan! Yes!
Sorry, hey, Mickey, just so you know, you can be his fan, but you can't file him on your taxes.
It's okay, Mickey. You know what? Don't listen to Pony Boy, because I don't either. That's the key right there.
And then chaotic hashtag Tommy is still not my champ.
This says it wrong. Who clean swept WrestleMania Night 1?
I like
Simbu
Turtles.
Dark Fang. Who is Simbu?
Turtles.
I've seen
Simbu in this comment.
Welcome to the show, Simbu.
I've been seeing him liking our stuff. He's a new one.
Welcome. I'm your champion.
No, but again, getting back on topic, you have Roxanne Perez coming up to one girl. They're going to beef up. They have to keep them together, because you have to start beefing up the women's tag team. You have to. And on Raw, it's a big thing, because they're going to throw them to the wolves with Io and Rhea. And if they can't hold their own with them, I honestly think if you can't hold your own with these two, you're gone. Yes, you were great in NXT. It's completely different atmosphere up here, and you're gone.
Oh.
I know who it is now.
So, Simbu.
I am a bum.
I am your champion, and I appreciate you,
You know what?
I have not lost the title in almost a year.
Hold on. He's not talking about he's talking about physically losing it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That was good.
That's
anyway,
funny.
But my thing is this, all right? Roxanne, is going to thrive. She's going to.
You think, but you don't know.
But my thing is this.
Maybe he does.
I have not been impressed, even when she was in NXT. I was not impressed with Julia.
I think that them two had gotten so much. I think Roxanne, I'm not trying to take anything away from Roxanne. I don't think she's main roster talent yet. I think that everybody is eating the Wheaties, sprinkled on by Booker T, saying she's amazing, saying she's this. But if you watch that match she had with Rhea, how many times she started speeding it up, slowing it. I'm sorry, when you're in a wrestling ring with a veteran, you do not call the momentum, you don't call the pace of it or nothing. You go with the veteran. No, she didn't. You go back and watch it, and you see the frustration on Rhea's face.
Here's another good question from Jamie, all right? Will Seth's group become a faction with an actual name and entrance music? I don't feel that they will have a singular entrance theme song. I do not.
I mean, if you go back and you look up how much
ball at this,
hold on. But if they won't have anything if Seth Rollins keeps spending money on the outfits he has. Did you see how much that jacket was? Did you see how much that jacket was?
I was more blown away by the glasses.
Some shit.
Dude, them glasses fucking tweaked me out, man. I didn't like them.
Anyway, how long do you think Seth Rollins will actually still be in the faction? Will we have an edge situation? Is what I've been wondering.
I've been thinking about that, and I don't. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. Watching Raw, and the first thought I had in my mind when they came out to the ring. Okay,
I'm bricked up.
Please do not let this, and it's about that time. The last 3-4 years, do not let this be the build to Survivor Series.
Well, so we're clear. There is no there is no War Games this year, and there is no King or Queen of the Ring this year.
I like how upset you get about that. You're like, there's no War Games.
I'm kind of mad about that, but they did announce today that those those matches are not taking place in 2025. Because
all right, so we're gonna have a legit Survivor Series match.
I think you're going to have a legit Survivor Series, but you're also getting the Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view.
We are?
What?
Yes, that's when they're adding in for John Cena wise, which is allegedly supposed to be coming to Chicago.
Interesting.
Do you not listen? Do you not listen to our wise man speak?
The wise man is my
Pony Boy. I'm going to tell you this right now. All right. I did not go to the watch party this past week. I was playing softball.
We discussed that on Sunday.
What? During WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm. You might have been out.
I wasn't really. I was just there. Okay. Anyway, but
that was the hungover one.
Shut up.
My thing is this. Okay. And it's already hinted at. You already see it playing out. How long before Heyman turns his back on Rollins and goes with Breaker?
He's not.
You don't think so?
No, because sooner or later Lesnar's going to come back.
Sooner or later, yes. I like how Tommy says that because it's the whole no, please don't. Oh. It's inevitable.
Listen, Breaker does not need Heyman. Let's be fair about that.
Rollins doesn't.
All right, I'll put it this way. I don't think Breaker needs Heyman if Heyman is giving him behind the scenes tips on how to cut promos.
Yep.
But if Breaker can't figure out how to cut a promo without becoming Scott Steiner, then it's not going to work in the long run.
I mean, if you watch it the past couple weeks, you have, Breaker is still green, but he is very successful right now because you still see Rollins and Heyman giving him some sort of direction within the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're putting Heyman with Rollins just for that off factor of Mania.
Okay.
So you're going to have it, you're going to ride the wave. You're going to ride the Backlash wave into whatever. The faction is depending on which way they go with it. But I do see somewhere down the line Lesnar coming back for one more run, taking Heyman away, and them riding off on the sunset. So,
do you think if that happens, if it happens like the way you're almost fantasy booking this, that will be Heyman's
Swan
he's
song?
Gonna ride in the sun. He's gonna ride off in the sunset with Lesnar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get on something real quick.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, by the way, what I was gonna say, or whatever, the only back to what I was originally the whole why I had said Bayley being a part of the faction. It'd be a swerve, a turn, everything like that. Going off Becky's promo against Lyra about beforehand how Bayley, wants to be bigger. She's doing this, do that. You know what? We've seen the heel Bayley before, but she was doing more of the role model thing. We have not seen a heel Bayley in the sense of trying to change her character, which this kind of just short segue here, talking about Charlotte Flair. Okay. Somebody posted about why the WWE fans are over her, besides the whole using her name to get what she wants, having an attitude, everything like that.
Who, Charlotte?
Out of the 4 women horsemen, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She is the only one who has not reinvented herself at all.
Okay, let me real quick.
Hmm?
There are certain people that that don't have to or shouldn't reinvent themselves.
But with her, is it because of her name?
Originally Charlotte didn't want to go by the name Flair. She wanted Elizabeth Reed. Do you
feel that she's pigeonholed now?
Yep. Originally Charlotte Flair, and this is fun facts for everybody. So Tom, here's your history lesson. Explosive Joseph, here's your history lesson. Charlotte Flair originally wanted to go by the name Elizabeth Reed because she loved Miss Elizabeth and in honor of her brother Reed, who, you know.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense.
They did not let her because of Flair. So do I feel like they've strong-armed and pigeonholed her? Yes. And I'm sorry. Charlotte is one of those people you cannot believe she's a face. You can't. You can act like it the same way Miz can act like it, the same way Orton can act like it. It's the same way Cena tries to act like a bad guy. It's not believable.
But again, do you think though, and this goes back to what I said, the reason why you can never believe Charlotte as a face, first off, I really can't believe Charlotte in whatever role she plays.
I can't believe her as a face because it's so tight.
Oh. No.
You really hold on. You really stretched that one, didn't you?
Oh my god.
Listen,
I'm sorry. All that popped in my head, and why I said that, Men in Black. What's wrong with your face?
Listen, them bobby pins and hair ties, they weren't holding up her hair at Mania. They were pulling her face back.
Anyway, but the problem is, and this is where I was getting at in regards to her reinventing herself, everything like that. We've seen Bayley do it, go from a heel to a face to a heel, but it came with the character.
Yeah, I don't.
But Charlotte being Charlotte, it doesn't matter which way you put her, because instead of her ability, I guess you could say, it shows that to fans and everything, it shows that she does not have the ability to step outside of her comfort zone.
That's aggressive.
Oof.
Oh, chaotic.
All
you get
asses
that much
are
work.
Beautiful.
You get that much work on your face and forgot about your ass. Oh,
I mean, but no, I think the whole thing with Charlotte is she's kind of pigeonholed to what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
Right.
So moving on, you said that you wanted to discuss something.
Liv Morgan's outfit.
No.
But still. Damn.
No.
Apparently, Raw Hut had to send us a picture. We will look at that after the podcast and post it.
Where I want to talk about it.
Okay.
We're gonna take like 10 minutes for this one.
Okay.
I'm calling it now. Karrion Kross is going to cost Logan Paul the world title at Backlash.
You know what? Okay, hold on. We can go back to something now because it has. I know Jamie asked about what storylines we like right now.
Yes.
I absolutely hate that Logan Paul is getting this push.
Mm.
The only thing that'll make me happy about it, okay, is that he will have lost world title matches against 2 members of the Bloodline family. Because I'm sorry.
I did see that one. I did see that one.
I'm sorry. If they put that title on Logan Paul, y'all ain't going to hear from me for about a month because I'm going to be pissed.
I want to see that picture.
So I'm gonna ringside roster wrestling and news. Pat McAfee accepts the offer from WWE Hall of Famer Scott Steiner to be in his corner against Gunther. Steiner is also set to appear on the Pat McAfee show and will be helping train him for the match. Scott Steiner made a post: the genetic freak plus Pat equals disaster for Gunther. I like it.
I can't wait to kills Pat.
Again, he's calling the dogs out.
I am fine with that. I actually, because, and that's another thing about it. Everyone just looked right to Goldberg.
But Steiner can't wrestle a match. Steiner can't actually wrestle. He can't. He can.
No, his heart.
No, but he can take bumps. But the thing is, everyone overlooked. They just looked right to Goldberg. No one thought about Steiner.
Everybody did it because of the promos they had. I'm good with that. I think it's great.
And Mickey, I'm not gonna argue with that. Logan Paul, unfortunately, is a future world champion. Just
Mickey, now. Listen,
not right
we
now.
have all agreed. We hate Logan Paul, but we will all we love wrestling. We love it, and we have no problem giving kudos to somebody who is a phenomenal athlete and wrestler inside that ring, because a lot of his moves are way beyond the level he should be at right now. We can all agree on that.
Yep.
Well, that's like, you got to give him credit. You got to give him credit. You know, he's got his own ring set up in his backyard to practice.
And if you remember who trained him when he first came in, Shawn Michaels.
What I'm getting at
Styles.
He's essentially doing, you know, he's basically doing a Travis Pastrana, if you think about it. I've got my own ring in my backyard. I'm at home inventing moves.
I'm going to be honest. I think Logan Paul is the modern day Miz.
Okay.
For those
go.
And for those of you who do not understand it, I'm going to educate you one more time on this episode. The Miz came from the real world. Everybody took him as a joke.
Oh God, yeah.
Logan Paul is coming in from social media, this and that, but the Miz had charisma going through everything he went through, to just being a host, being the chick magnet, being partnered with Morrison to where he is now. And you always got stable, solid matches out of the Miz.
And
you
the other
get that
thing
from Paul.
The only thing though, and this is why I can respect the Miz, all right? When he came in, he was bullied out of the locker room. He wasn't allowed to change with the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now the only difference between the Miz and Logan Paul though is that yes, the Miz was on the Real World. He was on Road Rules, like, you know, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But you got to remember, back then, social media isn't what it is today.
True.
He didn't. If the Miz was up and coming, if the Miz were up and coming today, if Road Rules and Real World were as big as they were back then, okay, the Miz would probably be as big as Logan Paul, to where Logan Paul is able to call his shots, get his own bus, get basically all the bells and whistles of a seasoned wrestler. The Miz would have been able to have when he first started. So I see your comparison, but the Miz, in my opinion, is so much better than Logan Paul.
Oh, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, you give it a couple years, Logan will have the success that the Miz has.
Yeah, but at the same point, the Miz didn't have so much baggage in his past.
I know what? I would disagree with you, only because the one thing that the Miz did that Logan Paul did not do, the Miz went through Tough Enough.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
So not only did he have them belittling him during Tough Enough, but when he came in, it was nonstop.
Can we say
Logan Paul has the ability to leave the Rock? You know what I'm saying? It like you
He
said,
has the ability
it's
to
not
come
the way
and
it
go.
was. Yes, it
Can
wasn't.
we say one thing about the Miz?
What?
Yeah.
He was tough enough.
I mean, hold on. To be fair, he's got a point there. I mean, it was a horrible dad joke pun, but he's got a point there because if you look at the people that were on Tough Enough, the people from around then, he's the only one still there.
Yeah.
He outlasted everyone.
Yep.
And he's probably great in bed.
And over the course of everything,
Tom,
the Miz has proven. Hold on, the Miz has proven not only is. Was he a reality TV star? Yes. Not only has he proven that he can wrestle with the best of them, but outside the ring, you can't say a bad thing about him.
No.
And unfortunately, the saddest part about it is the Miz is so willing to give back that he has the most career losses.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm. You know, it'd be great to cap off his.
Yeah,
career.
he's got to put. Chaotic is on a roll tonight.
He's being pretty chaotic.
He got.
You do one more damn fun. You're going to timeout again.
You don't have the power.
I have the power. Anyway, I just wanted to bring up the whole. I just want to bring up the whole Charlotte Flair thing and just
Now I know some people don't want to talk. I want to touch on it. Where are they going with where are they going to go with the Judgment Day?
After what I saw,
idea.
After what I saw, it's only a matter of time until Finn says "fuck you." And where's the Miz been? Well,
SmackDown.
The Miz. They're both on SmackDown,
and he got a black mass kick to the face.
R-Truth was actually in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and he trolled the fuck out of Carlito.
Thank God.
The Miz. He got a black mass.
Real quick, I want to bring something up. I saw a video today. I know everybody don't like him, but I generally do like him.
Yeah,
I follow.
Where's the Miz been? Not wrong.
Race.
Wow.
Not wrong.
I follow Enzo Amore, and he said something, and I want to talk about it. He goes, the fans are the one. Like he goes, yes, you have the creative team, and Triple H decides things. But in reality, the fans control everything. And then he goes, originally, Jay was not supposed to win the Royal Rumble. But the fans wanted it. The fans were not supposed to... Jay was not supposed to win Mania. But the fans wanted it. You look at when Enzo and Big Cass went, they should have been nothing, but the fans were into him. Now, going off of that, which we can all agree on, is this the reason Karrion Kross is getting so over right now? Because everybody heard how the crowd reacted during the Andre Giant Battle Royal?
You want my personal opinion?
Absolutely. TikTok, motherfucker.
Absolutely.
Personal opinion?
You're not speaking yet. He is.
I think the WWE writers and everything should have been listening for a long time when it came to Karrion Kross. And I feel like this push is just a way of them trying to say, oops, we fucked up. Okay. But why are they pushing him though? Hold on. There was that video of him backstage that you sent me, Pony Boy.
Yes.
Tommy, I don't know if he sent it to you, but Kross is walking in the back of an arena and one of the commentators or interviewers or whatever, he stops Kross. And he says he's wearing the devil, like the puppeteer shirt or whatever.
I have that shirt. I bought one.
He literally made the comment to him. He's like, that's a really cool shirt. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have to go get one from the stands. Well, you can't. It's sold out. But don't worry. They're going to restock it. And then at the end, he's like, I really don't know what is wrong with me. And walks away.
I think. But again,
My problem is, are they giving him this push now because they see that he is actually pushing merch?
I'm gonna let Tom.
Sure.
I have it. I have two of them actually. Tommy, you don't like Karrion Kross.
I think he just has a cool shirt design, and that's it. That's like people are.
But my question is,
that.
are they giving him the push because WWE is finally listening to the fans, or are they giving him the push because now they're actually looking in and seeing that he's selling merch? He may not be the top seller, but as far as I know, he is a constant, like, he's steady. He is steady.
I think
that's it. I know no one who's Karrion Kross fans but you two.
There's a lot of them, actually, you ingrate. You go back to when they were doing the whole Wyatt Six thing with the Final Testament and the Miz. Ever since he did that little promo of, like, they took him? Oh, he's dead. How long ago they take him? Like half hour ago? Oh, yeah, he's definitely dead. We're going now? We're going to go do this? Ever since then, they saw him for what he could do.
See,
and it's been that trajectory.
That's what kind of bothers me about Kross, though. It's more so the fact of he touched on it during the little pipe bomb he dropped. All right.
Yeah. Damn it.
They keep saying make a viral moment.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
If you notice, out of all the WWE superstars, he's really the only one cutting promos via social media.
And then I just want to interject here one time. To you, Tommy Guns, to Chaotic, to Simbu, y'all need to go back 2 weeks ago and watch that match he had with AJ Styles, or go back to WrestleMania 40 when Karrion Kross and the Final Testament wrestled the Hurt Business in a Philadelphia.
The only two matches they had in 2020.
Shut up! Or educate yourselves and stop being marks and go watch him in NXT.
Right, him sacrificing himself to AJ sealed it. And you know what? I brought it up on the podcast when we talked about it afterwards. When he gets up, you can see the ref is telling him, hey, the forearm's coming. You see him put his hands behind his back like, okay, you're going to hit me with it. But the look on his face was like, yep, I know it's coming. And there it is.
If you guys stop being marks and you actually go back and watch Karrion Kross in NXT, when they actually, they made him look like a reject from Mad Max wrestling for gas. You go back and actually watch those matches, you will understand why Zero, the Wise Man, and a lot of other people are super excited for this push because the guy's finally getting the credit he deserves.
But my biggest problem
being marks.
My biggest problem, though, okay? I'm happy he's getting his push. I'm happy he's getting his roses. I thought his little interaction with Sami Zayn was great. You know why? Zayn's hair was down and Kross still had his man bun up.
Again,
you know,
you're
and the thing is, Tommy, that wasn't him pulling the whole devil's advocate thing. That was him literally just going, you have a decision to make, huh? I hope you make the right one.
Why does his hair have to be a storyline? The same Booker T versus
what
Edge.
It's no. What I'm saying, Tommy, is it's not a part of it anymore. It's the little nuances, little things. Because after the interaction with AJ, Kross went back to putting his hair up in that half bun. Kross has been doing that for a long time.
It's the little. Well, you want to know what?
The fact that he didn't match. The fact that he didn't match Zayn shows he is going back to being his own person.
He's going to come out with like fucking permed hair.
No, but here's the thing.
Zayn.
Okay,
you're muted again because you're missing the point.
Here's the thing. Here's what he's doing. He's doing the exact same thing Taker did. The exact same thing Edge would do. The exact same things Bray Wyatt would do. But he's not doing big things. He's doing the little things that get you. My girlfriend asked me the other day, why does he always have that look on his face? I'm like, which look? Like he's going to rip your face off and gnaw on it a little bit? She goes, yeah, the big eyebrows and the grin. Because it gets you to pay attention.
I mean,
and Simbu,
that's a missed fucking opportunity right there.
That was. But again, I'm not calling you a mark. I'm saying the things that you're saying are very Mark-ish, because if you can't see that everything he did back then, why you don't understand why he's getting the push now is because of what he did back then. He's still continually doing it today, and he's amping it up.
So the thing about it, you're missing what Simba was saying. He's more so questioning the timing of all this. The reason why now you're seeing it is because WrestleMania is over. We are at the Great Reset, as they would call it.
You wanna know what it is?
That's what we always call it.
And yes, Ponyboy has a girlfriend.
Yep.
It's not someone a boyfriend, you guys, so calm down. It's
someone likes his candy corn.
Anyways, you have the opportunity
I
now.
won't make any more jokes like that tonight.
We can do that later. You have the opportunity now to have it.
If you look at it this way, okay? After WrestleMania, it's a great reset. Why? Because any great promoter, any great prime example, okay? Nightmare Before Christmas, all right?
That movie sucks.
There's only 365 days until next Halloween. 364.
Yep.
You're planning to your next big show. This next 3 months, depending how things go for everyone, is what is essentially setting up to, hey, we liked what you did. We're going to start working towards the great show.
I'm gonna sit here right now.
Hold on. But if you start to flounder, then they're going to start looking elsewhere, because they want WrestleMania to be the best it can be. And we've all agreed this past WrestleMania was not the greatest it could have been.
Mark your calendars for history days.
It was all right, but
I'm calling it now on April 30th, 2025. Karrion Kross will win the Money in the Bank contract.
I'd be fine with that.
Fiend.
Mute.
You know what? I do have to agree with Logan Paul. If I hear that song one more time, I'm going to smack Travis Scott.
Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you for my point. You have long-term storytelling. Undisputed Era, gone. Bloodline, gone. Thank you.
But it was after the out. It was after the out. No, it is Jermaine. It is Jermaine.
No, I'm calling him the man, but using his name creatively.
But no, but I'm saying the whole Hourglass thing, I feel like that was, if they bring it back, that'd be great, because that was a good story time. That was a good storyline, you know?
Hey, not only did Jamie have a good point that WrestleMania could have been a one-night show, Mickey finally saw the error of his ways and renounced his friend. Tommy is now back to being a fan of himself.
That's all right.
I want to talk about that real quick. That's we kind of touched on Karrion Kross. Do we feel that WrestleMania is overstretching to continuously do 2-night events?
No.
I personally like it, though. It's fun.
I will say I am glad they don't do what they used to do, where
7 hours.
Where night one would be like Raw or SmackDown, and then vice versa. I'm glad that it's mixed.
Okay.
But I will say, it's not that they're overstretching doing 2 nights. I am fine with them doing 2 nights, because the amount of talent and the stories they build and everything like that. What I'm not okay with is literally just this past WrestleMania was not.
Okay.
I know there's a lot that happened throughout last year that altered matches and everything like that. I get it.
But would you be willing to agree or disagree that some of the that at least one match on each night should have not been on the main card, but should have been in the pre-show.
Yes, I could say that.
What would your two matches be for night 1 and night 2?
Night 2 was Raquel and Liv, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that could have been on that. But the only reason it wasn't on the pre-show is because of Becky Lynch. That's it.
Oh, they could have had like the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title was my whole thing with it. You know, like they kind of wasted that. Like, why have new titles if you're not going to put it on the
shout
card?
out to Selena Vega for capturing her first singles title.
Yeah, correct.
Real quick, I think
night 1.
Honestly, I think you could have put the men's tag team match as a pre-show. That's what I'm saying, Mickey. Like we're talking about WrestleMania and how
in the past they used to have one match during the pre-show, which personally I think there needs to be a match. I think there needs to be a match in the pre-show because I'm sorry, sitting there for 2 hours listening to them do commentary about like the build-up. I'm sorry, I'd rather go back to the old pay-per-view days where leading up to it, they showed all the
pre-show. It was NXT.
No, Tom,
that's what they called it, the matinee.
No, NXT, it's its own thing.
It is its own thing, but they used it as a pre-show.
He's got a point there. Like, you know how they used to put a match during like the pre-show commentary? NXT may be its own thing, but look at that as like the matinee of everything. Cool. That's what fine. It was. But my thing is that during the pre-show, the pre-show, the commentary, the talking, the predictions, whatever the fuck you want to call it, there's too much talking. You need something to break up the monotony.
They need to cut it down to an hour.
Yes.
Because I don't mind the talking because you get some unhinged shit from it, like some real unhinged weird shit.
Or like Big E staring at Stephanie McMahon's titties.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Just shit like that. Like those moments are priceless. But I think an hour.
That man wasn't even trying to hide
some pre-show matches, but I don't think the NXT idea isn't the worst.
NXT should not be on the main card. NXT should not be on the main card.
Hold on. Shush. You get like that breather of 2 hours of just commentary from wrestling. If they could do that better, I feel like that would work.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jermaine.
Yeah.
El Grande America.
Yeah, that was what I was. Yeah.
No, because you can't do that because you have NXT with their stand and deliver. That is their WrestleMania.
But
you're not gonna
now.
No,
Cody. Cody. No,
it is though.
In the way of scheduling things, that is considered a matinee.
Yeah, they even said it several times. That's what they're
saying. That's what he's saying.
It's still its own thing. Its own separate brand. It's not. It's its own thing and everything. But remember, NXT would be Friday, and then they would do fucking WrestleMania Saturday, Sunday before. Now that's kind of their pre-show. It's a matinee. It's like when you go see an early movie.
I'm going to be honest with you. The seating on that stage, I would never want it, and the reason being is how loud those fireworks are. I'm sorry. You better be wearing like shooting range earmuffs when they go off.
You can't even see the entrances either. You're like right there behind them.
No, but don't be wrong. They had a great seat, in my opinion, for to see everything going on in the ring. I mean, the $400 nosebleed seats look like bullshit. But speaking of which, all right, this is what our episode on. All right, and I told you I'd bring it up again. The $40,000 SummerSlam tickets.
Jeez, croak.
Why? Right. This is for fronts?
All right, so it's front row center.
Huh. $40,000 fucking dollars. Rhea Ripley,
and it includes a lot.
Job.
It does. It does include a lot. I'm pulling it up, Tommy, because obviously you hadn't seen what this all includes. All right.
Real quick, while Zero pulls that up, I want to extend a great amount of thanks to everybody who came out for WrestleMania weekend for the Positive Impact event. We had an absolutely great turnout. We had a massive, massive great time. We saw a bunch of puppies. The raffles were great.
How much did we make, Pony Boy?
It does not matter what we raised. Just know that we raised more
Tommy,
than what we started with.
That. I will tell you what it was after the podcast.
Again, I'm not trying to sound ignorant. We didn't do it for the money. We did it to help people out. So again, thank you for everybody who came out to that. I want to thank everybody who came out night 1 and night 2 for WrestleMania. Had an absolute blast. Again, that's the second and third time we have had that specific room for PLE, and for the third time straight, it has turned into standing room only, which is absolutely phenomenal.
All right.
So again,
all right. So Tommy, here's what. Wow. First off, I may have, because I pulled up extra things, so it's taking more bandwidth. All right.
Oh, okay.
I want you to. Here's the problem I have with this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
These tickets were limited quantity. All right. Let's start with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're sold out.
What the fuck? Who has that money right now in this economy?
What do they get?
They include premium front row seating, which is front row, dead center, shit like that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
In-ring photo opportunity at SummerSlam. Private transportation to events. All right. Now keep in mind, SummerSlam is 2 nights this year. All right. But I'm assuming that includes other events. All right. It includes an elite welcome event. Private section at all-inclusive pre-show hospitality with superstar appearances by Kevin Nash and more.
I heard about that.
Post-show press conference access and desk photo opportunity. All right. And it includes both nights of summer. Hold on.
You get to sit behind the desk they do the conferences at.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it includes both nights of SummerSlam as well as SmackDown and Raw. Now, even more diabolical. I know I'm lagging video-wise and everything, but you all can still hear me fine, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a secondary elite group, I guess, worth $32,000. It did not include dead center front row, but you're still center. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And the only difference between the $40,000 and the $32,000
is $8,000.
It did not include tickets to Raw and SmackDown.
What the fuck?
So you're telling me, timeout, based on that, the front row center tickets for Raw and SmackDown together is $8,000?
I can believe it. I can believe it. I can believe
it. Once after Mania.
Now, going off what you had asked about WrestleMania being 2 nights, I am fine with WrestleMania being 2 nights. I do not believe SummerSlam should be 2 nights.
It is the biggest party of the summer.
I mean, depending. Okay, can okay. Listen.
Do you know why I think they're doing 2 nights for SummerSlam this year?
Why?
Money.
Besides that, I don't think they're doing another Bash in Berlin this year. I think that's why they're like, hey, instead of doing 2 pay-per-views in August, we're just going to do the one.
You think
by the way, Mickey, I think Green Shirt Guy is finally broke because he was not at he wasn't at the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
Could have been doing Green Shirt Guys, like stuff.
No,
doing Bash in Paris.
No, it's Clash in Paris.
Oh,
Clash in Paris.
Do you think they base the 2-night events off of the potential card they want?
Yeah, but I mean, they're not. It's MetLife Stadium. They're not going to sell that out 2 nights in a row.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. It's in New York, dude. New York, New Jersey area.
And to be fair, you know what? That may be why it's $40,000 for those, because New York is expensive as shit.
Yeah. That's not that fucking expensive, though.
But it's not that expensive. You buy one.
I know. I've been to New York. I get it.
What I'm getting at is this.
$40.
I've seen it posted many times, and I know we've touched on it. All right. When wrestling first started becoming a thing, wrestling was for the everyday, common, blue-collar worker.
True.
Do you feel that wrestling now is starting to become more for the upper echelon, if that makes sense?
Let's see here.
Unfortunately,
and the reason I say it that way is with WWE always showing, oh, look who's here. Look at, there's this rapper, there's this musician, there's this athlete. Basically, they're catering now to the ones with, you know.
They used to do that all the time, though.
I'm gonna tell you right now, $40,000 for that thing. First off, who the fuck is sitting on $40,000 right now?
Secondly, who's giving me a hand job? If I'm spending that much money.
My thing is this, all right?
Mute.
Let me put it this way. $40,000 is
a lot.
Damn near 2/3 of my yearly salary. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
And that doesn't even include the travel.
Yeah. I think unfortunately I'm not pleased with a lot of things.
Jermaine, I'll tell you right now, from New Jersey to New York, it's $26 each way.
Jersey.
I think WWE, again, I'm gonna argue it with you, but they have always shown athletes, movie stars, they've always shown them Raw, SmackDown.
They always used to do it at the pay-per-view events.
They did now it's. But on Raw, it was more so like the city's teams that were there. Like if they're in Chicago, you're gonna see the Bulls, the Sox, the Black, stuff like that.
And that was and that was the only little cameo they would do. Now it's almost like they're doing a cameo every fucking segment.
I think they do it, and a lot of them are Netflix stars because they're promoting Netflix, which is in
hold on. There you go. There's the reason why it's so expensive.
Yeah, I'm not watching that shit. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I know what. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I would never hit a woman, but I'd definitely hit that bitch with a dodgeball.
My thing is, though, do you feel like, I understand inflation and everything like that, but do you feel these overpriced tickets are essentially kind of ruining the experience?
I think it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think it's becoming more of a unfortunately, it's a money grab thing because, I mean, they're not. You have to pay the stars what they're worth, okay? Mm-hmm. You have to pay, and I'm sorry, but you want fuck does Lardy be?
I don't know, what did Sexy Red have to do with NXT?
Hey guys, they're beautiful women and they can do what they want.
They're not sexy. They're nasty. They're ratchet. There's some busted down ass hoes.
Damn.
And you want to know what? I get one comment a month. I get one comment a week. You want to know why? Do ya? Because them fucking haters had to say Triple H was racist because there wasn't enough black people on television, and now he's proven them wrong. But you want to know what? He can do it with better musical acts.
Yeah.
The New Day are the only black people that I know that are on television. Oh, no, Travis Scott, Cardi B. But they're not wrestlers.
What about Street Profits? By the way, how do you all feel about how do you all feel about Montez Ford? And you could tell that was an impromptu decision.
I don't want to talk
to use a prosthetic leg.
Not only
Really
can you
good
use them as a
flashback.
cup, you can use them as a whack-a-mole tool.
You sound like you know a lot about that, pony boy.
Absolutely. I do.
You know what? Mickey has a point. I'd rather take Cardi B as a host over a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia.
Fuck yeah.
You know what? If we had to pick one or the other, I would. Yeah, I'll sit through Cardi B as a host.
I'm going Saudi.
Jesus.
I'm going fucking Cardi.
I'm sorry. I can't morally get behind an ex-stripper who used to drug her gentlemen friends, take them back to the hotel room, and steal from them. I'm sorry, because if that was a man, we'd all be going to jail.
Bill Cosby.
Just because Cardi B can twerk her ass and suck good dick to make some basic ass bitch rap songs does not mean she needs to come into my world of wrestling and put her filthy herpes shit everywhere. Fuck you too, Travis Scott. It's your fault.
Fiend.
Listen.
All right, folks. That's all the time we have for this week's episode of Midweek Meltdown.
If there was ever a moment
with Tommy Guns and Pony Boy, thank you all for joining us tonight for the first episode of season 3.
Listen.
If we haven't been canceled yet, I don't think we're going to be.
If there was ever a moment in, I got two more things to say, and then we can do our closing statements because I have the perfect closing statement for tonight. But if there was ever,
we're not going to do closing statements tonight.
Then I got two things to say. I got two things to say. If there was ever a moment for right to censor, it would be now. And also, just so we understand, at the end of this.